a bulging disc.
Break a hip?
No, luckily she didn't break any bones.
That's great.
They discovered like a slight fracture in her back, but it's like a degenerative disease, right? That they think was kind of like brought to their attention by the fall. So she's in a lot of pain because it's a bulging disc, right? And that takes a couple weeks, but I spent a week with her.
Just it.
No, my mom.
Oh, okay.
My mom had a fall.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the number one problem, getting old.
Yeah,
We lose track of where your feet are.
yeah. Yeah.
Before the meeting starts, I would point out, I created these forms. Now,
Stephanie doesn't have any. Those extras down there? Stephanie and Alec don't have.
Oh, there might be the extra there.
Yeah.
Oh, you got them?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
you know,
Oh, thank you.
the lawyer
Can I get
suggested
both of these?
Yeah, because there's two.
one for each
Okay,
case.
one for each case.
The purpose of the form is simply so you can write your thoughts down as this goes along.
Yep. And then we'll have our,
And the beauty is, like the lawyer said, if we could say because,
exactly.
connected.
I saw that when I read the notes from the last meeting. We're
Rather than-
establishing our thoughts very differently,
Yeah.
right? I
And
think
much
that's
Rather
more-
than try to pull it out,
Right,
Right.
It'd be
we're
more
just gonna
direct.
Give it to her.
Yeah.
We're gonna serve the plates very clearly.
yeah. I saw that in our notes, right?
Yeah.
From the meeting I missed.
Yeah.
You don't happen to have an extra pen, do
stays
you?
up to date.
A pen?
Yeah.
Right here.
You got this. Perfect.
Good throw.
It's pretty
Thank
good.
That was great.
Better than I thought it would go.
It was interesting to see your logic in the special exception, right, for the tourist home where they weren't there. It was interesting. So that's the first time we've had that.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Won't be the last.
Nope.
No.
Walter, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
You playing pickleball tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
Me too. I got off the wait list.
Okay, 7 o'clock, I'm gonna start the meeting, and I'm gonna ask those of you who have a cell phone, if you'll please turn the sound down so that it doesn't interfere with what we're doing, including the TV that we have. And we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The ball game again.
Roll call.
Great. David Kent,
Here.
Walter Frankel,
Here.
Frederick Kelsey,
Here.
Stephanie Holter,
Present.
Alec Hammond,
Here.
a full 5.
I want to thank you guys because it's great to have a full board. Appreciate it. Let's review the minutes of July 7th. We actually have 2 sets of minutes we're reflecting on, don't we?
Take a look in the packet. You know, Avery?
I do not believe so. I believe the other
Okay.
minutes were
I got
approved.
an extra one if anyone needs one.
Malik, did you get a copy?
I read it via the packet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I move
A
to
wonderful
accept.
job on minutes.
I move to accept the minutes.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes of July 7th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
I'm going to abstain
You're
because I
gonna-
wasn't here.
So you're not going to approve them?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. You can. All right. Next. Next, Next, we have a special exception application for Stone Bluff Properties Holding LLC.
Where would you like me to set the easel up? Should I set it up over here, do you mind, or where would you prefer?
Wherever you're comfortable having it so that,
I'm
Maybe
trying
just-
to make it so everyone can see it
Yeah,
as much
maybe-
as possible.
Right on this side, and if you wanted to move over a little bit, yeah, I think that would be the best. That way we don't block the audience.
All right.
Good luck moving that. It's so heavy.
Yeah, oh, you're right. All set?
yes, go right ahead, sir.
Good evening. My name's George Chadwick with Bedford Design. Here tonight is Mark Murphy of Stone Bluff also. Thanks for having us. We're here requesting a special exception for Article 3, Section 3.04, or 304, excuse me. Parcel is known as Tax Map 314, Lot 23-2. The parcel is 8.8 acres in size, has 600 feet of frontage on Eaton Road. And the parcel, the proposal meets all other zoning requirements other than what we're here tonight for, and it's that use special exception. Parcel zoned agricultural. Bedford Design did the boundary topography. Luke Hurley actually mapped the wetlands. Plans were submitted to the planning board. We've been to a couple planning board hearings, and I think we're very close to obtaining an approval. They wanted to continue the last hearing until the August 20th meeting to see the outcome of this meeting tonight. I believe the project is approvable by the planning board. There was about 6 items that they wanted us to look at the last meeting. All of them are done. They had to do with what lights we were going to leave on for security lighting. They wanted a note on the plan that no tractor trailers would be parked overnight, and there was a few other housekeeping type of items that we did address. The proposal tonight is for 38,400 square feet of contractor storage / commercial service. We've obtained our DES wetland permit, our NHDOT curb cut permit, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers permit for the environmental impacts. We prepared a draft letter. That letter was submitted to the town and it is in the town files.
Can you say that one more time, which of those permits you've received?
Sure. NHDES wetlands permit, the NHDOT curb cut permit, because Eaton Road in this location is a state-maintained road, or a state road, and a Army Corps of Engineers permit. Basically, they reviewed it after we received our wetland permit, and they just looked at it from any environmental impacts that may or may not occur. And like I said, we do have their permits. I believe they're all in town files. We did prepare a traffic letter and submitted it to the town. I believe the site is a well-landscaped site, and all lighting will be dark sky compliant. One of the items that the planning board wanted us to do was to identify which security lights were going to be left on at night, and there will be 9 of them. I can show you on a plan if you would like. Otherwise, we can move right on to the criteria for the special exception.
I would cover, I would
I'd
talk,
like to see where the
Yeah.
security lights would be.
Okay, sure.
Is that in our packet, sir? Is that in our packet of stuff?
That probably is not, because it just turned up at the last meeting a week ago.
I see.
So stuff was submitted to you all before that. Let's see what sheet I'm on, sorry.
We have in our packet the Apex Lighting Solutions.
Yep, and on that, it does not have which lights will be left on. We added that to the plan after the last plan board meeting.
it's kind of dark in here, isn't it? Dark in here?
Basically, it's 3 lights on one side.
It's dark, right?
2 lights on the
Joseph, is there any way to turn up the lights?
Let me take a look.
Sorry. Sight impaired here.
Oh, that's nicer.
Old people on the board. Thank you. That helps a lot. But we can at least reference the one that's in here.
Yeah, okay.
And kind of follow along.
There's also a big set up front here, if that would be helpful.
So the lighting plan that you have is identical to this. The only difference is we've identified the lights in orange as the security lights that would stay on. And like I said, there are 9 of them. And again, they're all dark sky compliant. They shine down, and they don't
So it looks
illuminate.
like that there's one on each side, right? On the west side and is that the west side and the east side?
One here,
Yeah,
in the middle, one here,
okay,
in the back of the building here, and here,
okay,
here on the back of this building, and then 3 on
Okay.
the front of it.
so there's, for the people in the back, right, there's 2 buildings, right? There's the south side and the north side. Each of the ends, there's 3, one on each end, one in the middle for the 2 buildings. And then where they meet, one building has one on each end, and then the other building has one in the middle. Roughly, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Before you launch into the criteria, sir,
Sure.
could you spend some time explaining exactly what's going to happen there?
As far as the use,
Yes.
our proposal is for contractor, storage, and commercial service. What that means is maybe an electrician needs a place or a plumber needs a place to put their supplies and run out of. Most contractors work off-site, so there wouldn't be a lot of work happening on-site. The commercial service part of it would be, I guess, uses similar to the building that's adjacent to us, between us and the highway. Those type of uses are, trying to think of what possibly could go in there. Beauty supply place that has supplies.
Warehouse, you know, like Comcast is in this front plaza, and I don't know, some people go in there occasionally, but it's really just an office and a place for their technicians to keep their equipment and supplies. So that might be an option. But mostly it's aimed at contractors, various trades and services, flooring. I know a lot of flooring guys that use a space like this, or multiple of them to store all of the various flooring that they have to keep in stock. But all the work is done, of course, at someone's house installing it, so it's not really done there. It's really just home base for businesses that service the construction or homeowner.
but there's a possibility that some of it will be customers coming to that location?
Very few, but yes, there is a possibility, yes. But basically, this is the layout of the building. You've got a little office area in the front with a passenger door. Back half of the building, or 3/4 of the building, would be that storage area, whether for a plumber, electrician, or whatever.
How many different renters would you have in this development?
There's 38 units total. I guess there could be up to 38. Some may take 2 spaces. We did do a traffic memo letter. It was submitted to DOT as part of our curb cut permit. They looked at it regarding the road capacity and the intersection and all that, and they were fine, and they granted us the permit. So a copy of that memo, like I said, is in the town files. I can give you more specifics if you want. I'll have a copy right over here if it's necessary. While we're here, the building. Looks like this, where there is canopies with a couple columns in front of some of the doors. We didn't do all the doors because we thought it'd be kind of busy. So the architect chose certain units to have a canopy over them. The other units would just have a regular door with no canopy.
But access is from the exterior rather than from the road that goes down the middle?
That is correct.
Well, there's access on both sides, so, you know, this is like the storefront side, if you will. The other side, you got nothing. This is the side that faces the middle. Okay, so this wouldn't be visible from the road. There's just 2 sides facing each other that have the overhead door. So you don't see those from the road, it's the other.
I see. So half the units, well, half the units are exterior and half the units are interior?
Of the 2 buildings, they're kind of a mirror image of each other. So, this one, you'd have the canopies and man doors along here. On this one, you'd have the canopies and man doors along the backside. All of the overhead driving doors would be facing each other here in the middle.
I see.
We did also put together a landscape plan. Where we put quite a bit of landscaping along Eaton Road to help buffer the face of the building from our neighbor and from the Eaton Road. And that should be in your packet also, I believe.
Fencing along the road?
Fencing? No, there will be no fencing. It's all landscaping, trees, bushes.
What do you call it?
So landscape buffer strip along the front?
No,
That's a guardrail. That's a guardrail, I'm sorry.
Is that guardrail existing?
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
You've, on your plan,
Mhm.
it talks about other buildings to the north of your proposed building.
Mhm.
There's a little, the first one's a square building. That's the landscaping office?
used to be a bank, now it's chiropractor.
Okay.
And again, that's on an abutting parcel. It's not on this parcel of land.
I understand.
Okay.
Then there's 2 long buildings.
Mhm.
What are those 2 long buildings on your plan?
The existing retail strips, I guess you'd call them, where like Comcast has an office. That's what those buildings are.
And there's an additional building beyond it.
Now
On your-
you got me, I don't know.
I don't
Yeah, I'm
think
not
that's part
sure
of
what's
their-
in,
No, it's not part of theirs, but I want to know what it is.
Oh.
yeah, I'm not sure what's in that one.
That's Jack Nelson's house, isn't it?
That's the Nelson's house?
Maybe a house,
Maybe a house, okay. Thank you.
I feel like I have that same picture. I don't know if I lost mine.
Can you, how far back from the actual pavement of Yeton Road does, let's start with the guardrail, then we can go back to the planting. So how far back is that?
So the guardrail runs along this side of the pavement.
Right.
And I believe it's about 25 feet. From the
25 feet.
right-of-way, from the pavement, we'll probably add another 7, 8 feet to that, so 35 feet plus or minus.
So it's that far back?
It is.
Okay, and, okay.
And Mr. Kent, that is a residence you're asking.
Yes, Jack's place. And the plantings and so forth that you have planned on the Yeton Road side, does that extend right to the road? Is that, there's a setback for that? I mean,
There is no setback, but they are planted on our property, so they will be 8 to 10 feet off the edge of pavement.
off the edge of the pavement?
Correct.
The state owns that, 8 to 10 feet.
Right.
I can't find
Yeah, just,
that. There's also overhead wires in that area too.
yeah, there's telephone poles almost in the pavement, yeah, it's,
Any issue with the hours of operation, sir?
So the hours of operation would be 6 to 8 or so. I know the note on the plan states that the lights, all lights will be out by 10, and that's what we've agreed to with the planning board, except for the security, 9 security lights that I talked about earlier.
you said that you have, the curb cut and the DOT is given permission to this. Can you just, a little detail about the, Yeton Road's not real big, and you got trucks coming in there. Is there enough room for that actually to turn in without blocking the other lane or whatever? That's been,
Yeah.
is a concern.
Eaton Road is 24 feet wide, the existing edge of pavement to edge of pavement. That means there's a 12-foot lane on each side. We ran turning templates to make sure that, and the state asked us to make sure that we could get tractor trailers in there, fire trucks, emergency vehicles, and so on and so forth. So yes, the curb cut is wide enough. The flares are adequately sized for those type of vehicles.
Okay. There was a substantial amount of wetlands that were filled in, and then you've mitigated that. Can you tell us I'm not a wetland scientist, but how well is that controlling flow? And particularly concerned about the private residents to the west, where there is, there's still drainage in there, and I've seen standing water in there. You just walk us through how that's going to be handled, and is it handled adequately?
The basics of a design like this, what we're held to is that there will be less water flowing off the site, off the area than there was before. So it would reduce any water runoff in the direction of that, from what it is now.
Right, so the way this is being designed, we've got a series of catch basins that are located in the pavement, and they're directed to a gravel wetland that's located in this area, and there's a small little fire retention basin in those two corners there. But as part of the drainage calcs that have been submitted to the town, there is no increase in the rate of runoff from the property.
But the area that's wetland now, or, you know, behind that, you look at the elevations, it still runs toward, you know, the Nelson property, that's not being,
Yeah, I
That's
believe
what
that
they're all-
Nelson's property is much, much higher than what this lot is.
okay.
I mean, so if there is some impact to, you know, any surrounding people, what's their remedy?
This is why we're here.
So there's a wetland that comes, it runs down like this, and eventually goes under the street. The Nelson property is, say, 510, or a little bit higher maybe. The parking lot in that here is 508. So I guess much higher. For some reason, I had a number of 60 feet, but obviously that's wrong in my head. But it's a couple feet.
All the water in this area from the residents currently actually moves this direction because it drains into Mill Brook and then goes from there to the Baker River. So if the water's moving in any direction from the residents, it's coming my way. It would have to overcome gravity to go the other way.
All of that water that would be flowing into Mill Brook would be caught in your catch basins, correct?
Correct. All the water from the developed area,
From
yes.
that,
The water that comes from the Nelson property pretty much goes around us.
Right. So everything that we're doing ends up in the gravel wetlands, which infiltrates into the ground after being filtered by those gravel wetlands.
I'd like to go back to the issues of hours of operation.
Sure.
The place is not secured at any particular time, so contractors could come and go whenever they choose, could they not?
They possibly could. There are hours of operation that we've committed to with the planning board. So that's basically the hours that I represented.
Can you state those again for me?
Excuse me?
Could you please state those hours again for me?
Sure. 6 in the morning to 8 p.m.
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday, possibly a Saturday, if a contractor need to pick up a supply and he happened to be working on a Saturday, but I'm sure that wouldn't be all the time. And the lighting would be pretty much, except for the security lights, off at 10.
Could you share with us, because unfortunately we don't have it, the traffic report on what would be the increased travel on that section of Yetton due to this?
So as you're well aware, if you go right out of the site and go away from the highway, there's really no place for them to go. The traffic report stated for the 38,400 square feet that the total trips is 377 vehicles per day, so that's in and out. So half that number would be the number of vehicles per day entering the site and exiting the site.
Sort of theoretical max sort of number, I imagine would actually be seen.
Yeah, no, again, when we use the ITE trip generation manual, those numbers are very conservative.
And higher than
Yes. Conservative on their
It would seem
part.
to me that a contractor could have 4 or 5 people who work for him, who show up at this site in the morning, is that not so?
Yep, they could. And with 38 times 4 is 38, say 40 times 4 is 160, and that's about half the number I just gave you of or vehicle trips based on the ITE trip generation manual.
Trips are in and out, that's 2 trips, not 1. That's
We-
why he's using a half.
When you went to the planning board, was there another facility that's comparable to this
In Plymouth? Or-
anywhere?
Oh, yeah, these are very common in other parts of the state.
Can you give an example, sir?
They're all over Londonderry, Candia, Manchester, north of Manchester, around Concord,
Auburn,
you know.
I've done one in Londonderry, one in Auburn, 3 or so in Manchester. Most of
Are
the
they
Manchester
something
ones
that you have done?
I have designed. My client has not built those.
Oh. So you don't have any direct experience on how this actually operates?
Not an operation, no.
I find a similarity to the warehouses over in Campton, where the dance studio is, where Fire Studio was, the candy shop, etc.
Candy shop?
Yeah, there's a guy who does candy, and he works out of he realistically has what would be 2 to 4 of their size units. There's an electrician working out of one of them, etc.
Could you
There's a couple of these in Meredith as well.
Could you describe the interior of these places?
Sure.
Talking finish or?
Well, yeah. No, I don't care about the finish.
Talking about the layout, right?
Yeah.
So on the bottom of the sheet here is a typical unit, where you've got a passenger door into a small area out front. Could be an office, could be a little bit of space for goods, and then the back rear of the building is all open, where a contractor would put up racks of supplies and things of that.
That has a big door from the back.
And then there's a big door to get that material out. Right here, out the back.
And that visual inside there is a truck, potential box truck.
Yes.
Large box truck.
Do they each have their own bathroom? Or-
They would.
Yes.
And we are on sewer in this location. It would be private well. We don't have water to tie into.
Stretch for town water, yeah. Okay. Should you go into the criteria, or?
Sure.
I have one more question.
Sure.
Do you have any potential renters already lined up?
I do not at this stage, no.
Okay.
We'll finish
Anything else? No? Any questions? No? You
All right,
proceed.
so I did submit an application with a brief explanation of the criteria. I'd like to put that in for the record, but also supplement it with tonight's presentation. As far as the criteria for a special exception, number 1, is the proposed use allowed in the ordinance by a special exception? The answer is yes. It is allowed use with a special exception. 2, explain how the specific site is an appropriate location and adequate size for the use. As I stated earlier, the parcel is 8.8 acres in size. There's 30.8% impervious coverage on this site, where 75% is allowed, so we're about half, or a little less. We have all necessary state approvals from an environmental concern, the wetlands, the Army Corps, and the ecological approvals. As far as traffic is concerned, we have NHDOT curb cut permit. I believe we've addressed all the planning board comments, and we'll be back in front of the board on the 20th. Some of the comments, like I mentioned before, had to do with the security lights, when they would be on and off. Landscaping, they asked that we talk to the abutter about possibly doing some landscaping on their property. My landscape architect is in the process of trying to reach the abutter. Signage, they just wanted to make sure that the signage was appropriate. They wanted a sign added to the plans that stated no overnight tractor-trailer parking, and that is located the signs are located along the rear of the back parking lot for the rear building. They wanted to make sure that we had proper fire access. I've got a fire truck turning plan to submit to the board. We do have a commercial use to the north of us. Parcel does have easy access to Route 25 without going through a large residential area. And there's been no evidence of any detrimental effects to the health, general welfare of the immediate area. 3, explain how the use as developed will not adversely affect the character of the area. The site as designed, taking the loading docks, putting them between the buildings, trying to allow the buildings to buffer the loading docks area or the loading area. We've got a fairly dense landscape screen along Eaton Road. The lighting is dark sky compliant. We don't have any spillover of light glare or light pollution from the property. And it's an environmentally proven layout by obtaining the wetlands, the Army Corps of Engineers, and the ecological approvals. And traffic was reviewed by NHDOT, and a permit has been issued. And to date, there's no factual evidence has been submitted that the property values will be adversely affected by the use.
So what do you mean by that? Could you explain?
Sure. To date, we've been to 3 planning board meetings, and there hasn't been any evidence submitted to the town stating that their property values or the surrounding property values would be reduced by this development. And that's what I mean by no factual evidence.
Sir, on that issue, you say you've designed others of these.
Yep.
Have you ever designed one that had residential housing right next to it?
I've designed them right in the middle of residential housing before. One down in Salem on Clough Road. In Manchester on Holt Ave and Pepsi, I've done 2 down there with a residential in the rear of those. They do have commercial, industrial right up on the roadsides, but behind them, they all are residential. And then in Londonderry, trying to remember the name of the road.
Well,
And I did one in Londonderry.
so with that experience, sir, you should have some indication about the effect on surrounding property values.
And I could state that there will be no effect on the surrounding property values based on our design. And that's, I've been doing this for 42 years, and I can say that with all assurity. Number 4, explain how there will be no nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians. So that's, as I said before, the site's accessed by Eaton Road, and there's a very close proximity of our driveway to Route 25, NH Route 25. All or most traffic would be going in that direction, as I stated earlier. I don't think there's any need for any large vehicles to turn right out of our driveway and head up to, up along Eaton Road. And as I said, I did submit a traffic letter to the planning board and to DOT. DOT has reviewed it and has issued the permit, as I stated. Lastly, Eaton Road, being 24 feet wide, is adequate for the anticipated traffic. Proven by the issuance of our permit without any off-site improvements required. And most town roads are 24 feet wide, and they handle day-to-day truck traffic all the time. So for that reason, I feel that a 24-foot wide road can handle, I guess my response to that is that we've been at several planning board meetings, and all the details, I believe, of the project have been reviewed. We do have our DOT curb cut permit, and we do have our wetlands, Army Corps, and environmental permit, them being responsible for the environmental issues. So in summary, those are the 6 criteria. I talked a little bit about the environmental impacts and obtaining already have those permits in hand. Talked a little bit about traffic and having the state curb cut permit in hand. There's adequate sewer capacity for the project. The project, as I said, is on an 8.8 acre parcel of land with only 30.8% impervious, that being much less than half, or being less than half of the allowed 75%. And I believe from a light pollution standpoint, I've addressed any concern regarding that, being they're all dark sky compliant lights. They all shine down on the pavement. There's no spillover of light onto the abutting properties. And I believe the buffer along the front of this property is well designed to help break up the mass or the front of the building. I'm not going to say it'll totally screen it, but it will break up the mass or the size of the building.
I have a question about the driveway.
Sure.
Could you point out to me where the driveway to enter the property is, where all these trucks are going to be going?
Here's the
At that end? And why did you have to design it going down at that end and not the other end closer up to 25?
Because of the grade change in that area and the location of the utility poles. There's a sewer easement right in this area. We've got a utility pole right here. So we chose to, in the middle of the property, really wouldn't work for flow. So we chose this end in order to get into and around the units.
Is that driveway entrance right across the street from that small residence to the east side?
That is their house.
Yep.
So the driveway isn't directly across from the house.
It's pretty close though, right?
But we did agree with the planning board that we would plant some vegetation on their property if they would like, to help buffer the project, and that's still being worked out.
I mean, basically, like any vehicle coming out of that driveway, turning left to go to Tenny Mountain Highway is gonna shine lights on their house.
Yeah,
I would ask the same question, why wouldn't you have done it closer? the
closer
commercial
to
property
25.
And save
Yeah.
these people the aggravation of having the traffic go by.
Yeah, the road sort of drops off in that direction, so it just, trying to keep the site above the seasonal high water table on this particular piece of property, and enabling us to meet the state requirements for treatment and stormwater treatment and that. So it just worked much better and to be less disturbance, I believe. If,
Disturbance, what do you mean by that?
well, if we, right now, the driveway that comes down, the profile for it,
Site distance is an issue too.
and that is a good point. The further we go in this direction, in order to provide 400 feet of all-season site distance, which is the state requirement, we wouldn't be able to obtain that in that location because of the curve of the road.
Curve of the road and the elevation change right here, both limit site distance, so we have to be pretty much 400 feet away from this corner to meet state DOT requirements in order to get a driveway curb cut at all. So, I mean, DOT pretty much tells us, put the driveway here,
Got it.
and we say, okay. And it had to be somewhere in this range. I can't control what they do.
Yeah, I drove back there, it's true.
Yeah, I get it. I know it is a little hilly right there at the beginning, right? It's just not ideal for that residence. Because in the ag zone, right, there are residences and businesses, and they're mixed neighborhoods, right? So it is definitely something we have to balance out
Sure.
in the agricultural zone.
I offered to do some plantings on their side of the road.
Yeah, their property is very small, though. I do know it. My kid took piano lessons there, right? So, and the river's right behind their house, so they don't, that's really their only yard, right, is the front. And I would imagine their kids play out there.
Understand. But we have, to help buffer the impact of lights and noise and stuff like that, we have offered, to plant some plants on their property.
I appreciate that.
Tell me
There's
again,
no other way to do this, to get into that property. You have to go by their house. You can't go up this way somehow, create some sort of
Yeah.
additional
no-
road behind that commercial property to get into your property. You can't do anything like that.
I don't own this property, so.
You'd have to get a,
Well, it'd be on your property, obviously.
No, it can't be done on ours. We cannot enter this road here. DOT absolutely will not allow it. There's no way we're putting a curb cut at this end of the property,
yeah,
because DOT would just say no.
yeah, that's true, it's true.
Yeah. It would be incredibly dangerous too.
But there is no reason you couldn't go, I can't see what that is, where it says CB 60. That's where the point comes out of the building.
Are you talking down here somewhere?
No, up on the right end.
Down here? Yeah, I can't get
Tell me when to stop.
site distance.
Pardon me, sir?
Tell me when to stop. Where were we
Right.
suggesting?
Right where the building it juts out.
Over here?
Yeah.
No, DOT, we have to be 400 feet from this corner by DOT standards. That's just a state minimum site distance.
And how many feet is that?
A lot less. What's
Right.
this? This is only 500 feet to here, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
from here to here is 600 feet. So
Pin to pin.
from corner to corner. So 400 feet is about, say, that
Two-thirds.
distance right there. And
Basically where the
because of
driveway is.
Because of the curve in the road and the elevation change, to meet the 3.5,
there is a
3.5,
curve, I know that.
Yep, I know.
yeah, we're not able to do it.
There is.
Yeah, you can't, 'cause I
And there are no processes to
Unfortunately, there isn't.
go to the DOT and say, look, I got a problem here.
Not DOT.
There's no variances with the DOT.
Not DOT.
Not when it comes to safety, right? I think safety's the number one concern of DOT and all of us, I would assume.
Yeah.
This is kind of a safety question, but it's, that road doesn't really have much on the side for any kind of pedestrian or even biking and so forth? There's any, what is your plan? I mean, the state owns, I forgot how far back there, it's like 10 feet, and then it's you guys. And then you've got another, you're 35 feet from the pavement edge to your,
Guardrail.
to the guardrail, correct? If I remember correctly?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, is that about right? Okay. So,
That's a pavement, a heavy dash line.
yeah, and so do you have, are you gonna accommodate, I know it's only 600 feet of that, of Yetton Road, but, so folks would be able to walk there safely and not, you have to weave around the telephone poles, but with your planting and so forth, is there any? you can
I don't
just-
believe the uses that are proposed, there'd be anyone walking to them.
Well, I mean, pedestrians we're talking
the
about, we're not
people-
talking about
Pedestrians, right?
contractors.
I assume you're talking about a sidewalk. Is there anyone putting a sidewalk?
Well, it doesn't have to be, I mean, or just, it's something that's gonna be, you could walk on it, I mean, it could be dirt, it could be mowed weeds, it could be, or just something clear, but just so that there is space that someone walking along Yetton Road, is either gonna, because you can't really walk on the Millbrook side, because it's just slap, there's trees right there. Just, this is kind of under a safety issue, because people do walk, and I suspect bike, along that road.
I'm trying to find a landscape plan so I can show you that obviously a balance between buffer
Yeah,
of plants.
right, I mean, I'm glad it's as back,
Flat
as
area,
yeah. And
other
it's,
side of the telephone poles.
Yeah,
I
and then
don't
it-
see why we couldn't do a flat area and keep it mowed down, but I've
just,
got a lot going on in here because, so I can't plant anything that's gonna get into the overheads, or they're gonna
right,
cut that. So I'm trying to do as much as I can with landscaping in this area. I have to step back here because there's a sewer easement that's yours, the town. And I can't do much over that. I don't imagine they want to pavement because I have to tear it out to get to the sewer.
I mean, it's just, it doesn't have to be paved even, just something where it's ambulatory.
We do show about 5 feet maybe between the overhead, center of the overhead wires and where we're doing plantings because the plantings are on my property. But that's state right away.
Okay,
So, the intent of that would probably be flat to the road. Like, there's gonna be an elevation change to the parking lot, but that'll happen in the landscape buffer up here.
yep,
So there should be a flat area on the other side of the poles.
okay. Yeah,
I'm not in
That's
control.
based
of
my
it
question.
Because of the state easement.
right,
But,
Yeah.
we will end up having to probably grade in that area.
Yeah.
I can definitely grade that flat and leave it.
I mean, just something that
Put
would,
it, tell the guy, whoever mows this for me, tell him to run the mower.
yeah, just run the mower down that thing so you
Yeah,
could.
I can do that for sure. I just, I can't do anything permanent at all because the state would own part of where I'm trying to work.
Yeah,
Or I'd have to cut my landscape
Gotcha.
way back.
yeah.
There's no chance that you can get like a right of way with the mall? No chance.
Yeah, no, I don't believe so. I can also state emphatically that I have tried in Merrimack recently to put a sidewalk, and again, it's Merrimack, it's not your town, I apologize, but to put a sidewalk along DW Highway, and the state will not allow it. So, yeah.
Wasn't looking for a sidewalk anyway.
Yeah, if it's informal, an informal path for someone to walk on, we can do it, and
So I'm looking for.
Any further?
The owner of
Questions?
this one is Southern Aircraft Sales. They're out of Massachusetts. I do not know who they are. I have not had any reason to talk to them. But if I'm trying to bring traffic into there, first of all, there's no way they're not gonna ask me for 6 figures. to get in there. Just because I'm coming to ask a question, I'm like, hey, can I do this? It's gonna be, hey, how much are you gonna pay me? So I don't but also, then we have all the same problems, like their driveway right now is out of compliance with state DOT's site distance as it is, but it's existing.
It's not a great, I know, it's not a great turn.
So if I go in and say I'm gonna bring a lot more traffic in, DOT's gonna say it doesn't meet site distance.
Right,
And-
okay.
and unfortunately, we usually start these with DOT, and we go, what are they gonna let us do? And everything else has to flow from that, because I've never successfully asked DOT to waive anything and gotten anywhere with them. They are as autonomous as anybody I know in the state.
How many projects have you done, sir?
Across the state, dozens. They're not this particular thing, but I've developed quite a bit of storage and houses and other simple things. I'm not a big developer, but I have done quite a few projects.
Further questions by the board? Okay.
All I had.
Anyone else who wants to speak in favor of this development? So we're in the public hearing now. Anybody who wishes to speak in opposition to this development?
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
I'm Joe Caranta. This is my wife, Brittany. We are at 33 Yetton Road, so directly across the street. We had sent a letter in a while back. I know it's been delayed a few times to get to here, so hopefully you guys all still have that. But yeah, we have quite a few concerns with this, especially regarding the reason that we need a special, or that they need a special exception to do this, changing the character of the neighborhood, all that sort of stuff. I have a lot of concerns about that. I mean, I'm not sure why we need one of these contractor storage buildings. We're obviously not Manchester, Nashua, or any of those other places. This is the ag zone of Plymouth. The end of the road, that plaza that's already there, has multiple units empty already. Just down Tenny Mountain Highway, you've got that whole plaza that used to have like cellular wireless in there, totally empty. So I'm not sure where the 38 different units are going to get filled. So then would hate to see this thing level a forest, put up a giant building, and then sit empty. But at the same time, it was made pretty clear to us in the planning board meetings that there's no real way to enforce what kind of businesses go into this place, and there's no way to really enforce the hours of operation. So I definitely would be concerned with like a CrossFit gym or something like that going in there. Now all of a sudden there's classes, there's tons of people coming in and out. Some of those places have classes as early as 5:30 in the morning. Every single one of those cars going in and out is now pointing right in our bedroom. No amount of trees in the world is going to change that, unfortunately. So I know there's no way to change where the driveway goes, but it's just, I don't know. To me, it's just not even an option. And then, I'd also be concerned with like noise. If a cabinet maker or somebody else like that is in there doing all their prep work, it's going to be really loud while they're using tools and building everything before they go out on the road to go install it in someone's house. Again, there's no way that I've heard of that we can enforce what kind of businesses actually go in here, and then the hours that they're going to keep. I don't know any self-employed contractor that's working a 9 to 5 hours. They're going to be there on the weekends. They're going to be there late. They're going to be there early. And, we have to live there. So, raising our family there, as you had said before, the front yard is pretty much it. So, if we have to,
someplace.
yeah. So if we have to chop our yard down to then put up a bunch of trees just to keep some traffic out, that seems kind of crazy. As far as, again, traffic, be very concerned with the types of businesses going in there. Like a gym is going to bring way more traffic in than perhaps some of the reports would indicate, because it would be a customer-facing business. It's not just something where it's, the one contractor guy shows up and gets his truck. In the planning board, it was also talked about that this whole building and structure is going to be raised up about 4 to 5 feet above the street. So now it's going to be sitting above where we are. Even the parking lot be like looking down into our property. And there are quite a few parking spots on the street side, which I got to imagine would end up being filled with, the contractor's trailer or trucks or vans or whatever when they're not using them. So then that's just all going to be parked there. Security lights, that's great, but I'm also would be concerned with, having all these businesses with materials and stuff stored there. Is that going to attract people to come break in, try and steal stuff? Again, live right across the street. Couple lights on isn't going to really change much for people doing that. So,
Board have any questions for Lisa?
actually, sorry, one other thing. At one of the original planning board meetings, it was made pretty clear that there wasn't going to be any tractor trailers in here, and that it might just be the long delivery trucks, like the big FedEx trucks and things like that. Today, it seems like there's definitely going to be tractor trailers in there, so I'm a little confused where that comes.
Or how they'll even fit on the
How
road
they'll fit
or
on the
turn.
road there, template or not, like they're going to have to cross into the other lane to take a right into that driveway. They'll all be coming from the right because they'd be coming from Tenny Mountain Highway. And then again, they're going to have to leave. They're going to be rumbling by our house at whatever hour that they're doing that. So,
Yeah, safety concerns too with pedestrians. We walk up and down the road with our son in his carriage, and yeah, people already drive crazy. So adding a bunch more traffic to the road is not really ideal.
not going to help.
Thank you. Any questions by the board members?
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to speak to this? Yes, sir.
My name is Jack Nelson. I'm at 815 Tenny Mountain Highway. And besides the information that I've sent you people previous to this meeting, I was on my phone yesterday checking real estate values in Plymouth and on Yetton Road, and I find that this piece of property was listed in the market about 4 or 5 weeks ago with Berkshire Hathaway in Bedford, New Hampshire. So I'm not sure, are they really serious about doing this, or are they, whatever, it's on the market, you can go online, and I went to ChatGPT and checked it, and it was, like I said, I called a real estate agent to make sure, and they said that the piece of property was on the market as of 4 or 5 weeks ago, listed with them.
Anything else, sir?
No, not, just the safety, and I think everything we've sent in is kind of covers what we have for recommendations and questions.
Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Ursula Askins-Huber. I live at 72 Yetton Road, which is 2 lots over from this proposed development. I think you have a couple of letters. I don't know if you received the multiple pictures I sent, but okay. So if you've gotten all that, I don't need to repeat my concerns. I mean, mine are primarily about traffic and concerns for my neighbors, honestly. I mean, if you look at their tiny little house, and this behemoth that they're going to put across the street, it's very hard to imagine that they're going to get enjoyment out of their property. And I do worry about the safety of their child and their dog and all of that good stuff. But a couple of things that came up when I was listening tonight. So I know that these guys have been working really hard trying to make something that's going to work for everyone. I still don't see it, but that's okay, you know. So one of the things that they're talking about is trying to put all of these restrictions on their, business hours and, noise levels and, whether they will keep all of their items actually stored inside of the property instead of leaving them outside, or whatever. And that puts the onus on the people in the neighborhood to contact the owner if the tenants are misbehaving. And I think that's not a burden that any of us want to bear. And we certainly don't want to be that pain in the neck that's calling these people all the time saying, hey, somebody's here at 4 a.m. and they're backing up and we hear beeping and it's waking up the baby or whatever. That's a lot to ask. Also, my neighbor's house is facing this development. I know that our friend here had said that he had designed many in neighborhoods, but he also mentioned that a lot of them were kind of behind the housing. I think when you look at the property, I believe that the last time that we heard about how tall it was going to be, it was like from the road, not the building itself, but from the road, I believe they said it was going to be up to 25 feet from the bottom of the road to the top of the building. And that seems like a very large thing to try to hide behind some trees. I am concerned about, again, the truck traffic. I know they're saying that, you know, the property values won't be reduced and so forth, but the truck traffic sounds like it will be happening a lot. And the public health impacts, again, assume that the tenants are going to be well behaved. I am concerned about things that have come up a couple of times. We don't know. I know they're not putting floor drains in the unit because that was something that came up before. So I'm relieved to hear that, but I still worry about the fact that any drainage from any items that are left outside will go into our river across the street. So that's it, aside from the many other things that I wrote in my letter. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, let me know.
Any questions by the board? Anyone else going to offer any information? No. I have a couple of questions for the proponent, given, do you have any response to any of these issues raised, sir?
Sure. I guess I'd first like to start out, we did represent that the typical vehicle would be a box truck. That's pretty much what plumbers and electricians use. I don't want to state that there wouldn't be a tractor trailer that would have to go in and unload a spool of wire or something. So for that reason, the planning board wanted to make sure that there was no trucks sitting on the property overnight or sitting there idling. So that's why we added the no tractor trailer parking signs. But it is anticipated that the typical vehicle in and out would be a box truck as we represented before. So if I misstated something, I apologize, but the intent is for very few tractor trailers.
What do you mean by a box truck? Do you mean like your UPS-sized truck,
Yeah.
like Amazon delivery?
Yeah, stuff like that.
that
You know, your electrician, your
Yeah.
plumber that comes to your house to fix your drain, those small
Yeah,
to medium-sized
single
box trucks.
Okay.
Yeah, those type of vehicles. As far as the noise, we did locate the rear of the buildings facing each other. Typically, noise goes in the direction of travel out from the building. So we tried to create a situation where the noise would be directed toward the other building, and that there'd be a building between the residential neighbor and the possible opened overhead door in the back. So we did do our best to try to make as many modifications as we could as it had to do with noise. The vehicle lights, like I said, we did offer to meet with the neighbor. We'll continue to work on that until the planning board meeting, but I think I heard tonight that they didn't want to lose any of their land out in front of their home for landscaping.
Maybe a fence would be an option as opposed to trees if it takes up less space, which is fine.
Mr. Nelson had a concern regarding the parcel being on the market. I don't know if you want to say anything about that?
Generally, when I own property, it's available for sale. One of the ideas, certainly leaving it on the market is that someone may come with a different use that perhaps would be less objectionable to a neighbor. And I would certainly have sold it to someone if they were looking, to do something different with it. If somebody else wanted to buy this for any use, would be fine. That's why it was listed for sale. Once approvals are in place, I may keep it listed because I may be looking for an investment partner to come in and work with me on this. So that could take a lot of forms, but listing a property for sale is what brings that interest. In the first place, I've done that in Meredith. I have a partnership going with some guys who came in because the property was listed, and we worked out a partnership to use the approvals that I have been working on that property. So generally, they are listed. It really doesn't relate to the likelihood of us doing it. It's just a tool that I use in my business, basically, of developing land and selling for various reasons, that they generally are listed for sale. A little bearing on what my intent is.
I guess the only other comment I have, and it had to do with the traffic, and as I stated earlier, I don't believe there'll be a lot of large trucks. Yeah, I believe there'll be some box trucks that'll be in and out of the property, and DOT's reviewed the plans, and it's designed accordingly. And they exist, yep.
A couple of things. What is the active management of this property?
You want to answer that one?
Could you clarify what you mean by that?
Well, we had someone raise the issue of who's going to maintain any kind of order at this place. How does that occur? Is there a manager on site, or what happens?
You know, there would be a full-time manager on a site like this. Sometimes these are sold as condos. In this case, that's not being proposed at the moment in any way. Generally, it is up to whoever owns the property to self-police, as it is, I would say, at any other retail or industrial complex anywhere on 25, any of the properties in town that are similar in terms of having multiple tenants, that it's up to landlord.
Aren't you the owner, sir?
I am the owner, yes. That's what I'm saying.
So I asked you the question, sir.
Yeah. I would not have anyone on site full-time. That would not be my intent.
Okay.
But I live here in Plymouth, and I'm accessible. So if there's an issue there, I can be reached.
And I find it incredible. I just am having a very hard time believing your 400-foot between driveways comment. I can't believe that.
That's a published standard by the state DOT. That is nothing that we have come up with. That is New Hampshire DOT's minimum site distance. I've dealt with it a lot.
Are you applying for a driveway or a street?
State driveway, a permit on a state-owned road.
This is not a state-owned road.
It is.
Yes,
absolutely
it is.
It is a state-owned road.
It's a state road.
100%. I kind of wish it weren't, but it is.
We had to go to the state to get a driveway, when we got our driveway paved.
Okay. Thank you. That answers that question. Now, could it not also be, the way you've subdivided this property, the building couldn't have been slid further away from the other buildings, and you could have had the driveway closer?
It couldn't have been any closer to...
You chose to divide this into 3 parcels, I understand.
We did.
And the way you did that sort of forced this to be where it is.
Well, we divided it on wetlands. So the property line between this and the next lot down runs through a wetland. And the intent there, of course, is the wetlands are protected. We can't, unless I mitigated massive more amounts of wetlands, which I didn't want to do, placing a property line through a wetlands and setbacks and all continues to protect that wetland area indefinitely. And it just makes logical sense to divide along a wetlands like that. That, again, otherwise I'd have to look to mitigate a massive amount. We did a very small amount of wetlands mitigation with the state here, below the threshold where they actually charge you for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it usually runs best practice to divide through the wetland. You see that wetland right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we put the property line right through it, because otherwise, I mean, it's inaccessible anyway. And we would not be able to slide the building through that without a massive wetlands mitigation, which, again, the state would have said to us, you don't need to do this, push the building forward. DES would have said that. So when we develop land, there's an awful lot of competing standards, criteria, and interests that we have to try to address all of. So a lot of times, we are pushed into certain decisions that one party is not happy with, but we don't have the authority to say to another party, well, we're going to do this. Such as DOT, such as DES, I don't have the ability to say, well, I want to put the building down there. They just say, no.
Okay.
That's that.
Thank you.
Thanks for explaining that.
Anything else? Any board members?
No.
All right, I'm going to close the public hearing. Thank you very much. Board discretion. I suggest we work our way down through the criteria and see how we feel on each of the issues.
Make findings of fact as we go along.
Right.
Okay.
You always do the first one, Stephanie.
Do I?
Quiet.
That's funny. Okay, so the first one, the information presented was as follows and supports a finding that the specific site is or is not an appropriate location and of adequate size for the use. That's our first one. Right. And I would say it's an 8.8 acre lot. Right.
Yeah.
This is allowed by special exception. And it's 30.8% impervious surface is covered, which is pretty low.
I think that,
Did I miss something that I normally say?
yeah, so what fact do you want to have? Normally you say yes, it's required to have a special exception.
It's required, I did say that. It's required to have a special exception.
The things like the environment and the like, those are really the purview of the planning board rather than us, unless it impacts on one of the criteria here.
Right, like the impervious surface, that matters a lot to them. It matters less to
It
us.
does. Yeah. So we'll have, I think we should rely on the planning board looking at things like impervious surface.
Yeah. But it is 8.8 acres, which is fairly large. It is a fairly large facility, you know, roughly 38, what was that, 38,400 square feet?
Personally, I would have complained about the shape of the lot, but that's really the planning board's issue. I mean, to have this little appendage out on one side and count it as
Right, it's really separate.
part of the separate, same lot is,
Because if you just looked at this, they're covering
right.
a lot of that, yes.
Fundamental lot is very impervious for what's being used there. Any comments?
So, the other thing that I would say is it's in the agricultural zone, right? So, I mean, a special exception is allowed, but it's a very mixed neighborhood. We have residences, 2 residences that abut this, three that abut.
Three.
One right across the street from the driveway.
Yep. I think the,
To piggyback on that, there's also the commercial property that abuts it as well.
There is, right, the commercial property that abuts, which makes it somewhat seem like it would kind of fit in, right? But the houses there, right?
I think it's unclear from the presentation how much of it's going to be a commercial use or an industrial use. Commercial use inviting people to the property, and the industrial use being the people who work there, who come there.
Yeah. I got the
And
sense
and
that,
I don't think that's, I don't think that's thought out at this point. They don't know how that's gonna shape
I
out.
think the intent is more industrial than commercial, right? They don't really want people coming there, but that doesn't mean, they're a business. They're not gonna turn down clients that want to rent that.
Well,
I
think
wouldn't say
like
that's
the-
necessarily true. I mean, it looks like you could have showrooms and, stock in the back and,
Yeah.
people, I mean, could be a CrossFit, as somebody mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So there really could be any type of use there, and it could be any hours of the night. Right? So that's, there's no one's gonna be policing that, and
Right.
if I was a contractor renting a space, I'd go there at midnight, 2 o'clock, whenever I wanted to.
Right.
So that, just having
Okay.
said that.
And all those bear on the use. The first question, the second question, number 2, deals with, is it adequate size for the use?
Is the lot the adequate size for the use? Is that what you're
I think we
asking?
have to get it, did you get his comment as a finding of fact? Okay,
That it was
Or adequate size?
that the previous list, so 8.8 acre lot, 30.8% impervious surface covered. Are those the comments you were referencing?
well, yes, there were several. One is the blend of commercial versus industrial use is uncertain. And I think the proponent pointed out, it's really up to the owner. And although it's not currently considered to be a condominium, that's an alternative that could occur. And did you get the fact that there's 3 residents around the? People satisfied with it? You want to add other issues to number 2?
To the one where there's the abutters, it's, that there is also an abutter that is a commercial space as well.
Right, there's a commercial.
Very similar space.
Right, it is, actually.
It's incredibly similar. If you look at what Spectrum does out of there and
Yeah.
whatnot.
I'd offer a finding that this is it's an intensive use of this part of the property.
That's well
It's,
stated.
this particular section of the lot
Mhm.
is very heavily used. And it counts this other area as part of the lot. But the area where the building occurs is surrounded by property lines
It's
except
optimized.
for that little bar that sticks out.
In
I
theory,
did wonder by looking at that lot whether, that lot does abut 25, and I was, in my head, I was saying, well, because of the home across the street, could they come in that way? But that's an awful lot of road, I'm sure that's,
There's wetlands.
there's wetlands that you have to traverse to get there, yeah.
Any other facts that you'd want to add to number 2?
no. Are we going to vote as
We're
we
gonna
go
vote
through?
on- yeah,
this-
We're going to vote
each
on
one?
those issues. Want to read back what we have for number 2?
Sure, so for 2 thus far, the blend of commercial uses versus industrial uses of the site are uncertain, which will be up to the owner. The property could eventually become a condominium. Another one, there are 3 residences in the surrounding area. There is also a commercial abutting property with a similar facility located on it. And this is an intensive use of this particular part of the property.
It's the agricultural zone, and it's allowed by special exception.
Agricultural zone. Anybody want to modify any of that?
I think it,
All in favor, go ahead and make a motion.
oh, Yeah, I move that issue 2 is supported with the findings of fact.
Well, let's just find
We're
facts
just, we're
first.
just motioning that that we all agree on the findings of fact. We're not voting.
I move that we
Accept the findings of
accept
fact.
the findings of facts as were just presented to us by Joseph.
Seconded.
Been moved and seconded that we accept those findings of fact that Joseph read. All in favor of accepting those, say aye.
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 That is unanimous. Number 3, the information presented, explain how the use as developed will not adversely affect the character of the area in which the proposed use is located. So we should have some findings of fact about what is the character of the area.
I mean, again, there's a commercial property right next door. It's right off of Tenny Mountain
It's
Highway.
very mixed,
But it's also,
residential.
right, so we've got
It's a mixed
kind of
area
a, you know,
of commercial and
residential.
residential.
I would say, though, that the commercial is a little bit more Tenny Mountain facing, even though you have to go to Nyetten Road to get in there, right? It is a little bit more Tenny Mountain facing, right? Where like when you go back there, once you get past that driveway to turn into that commercial property, it feels residential back there.
Okay, so
It's,
what do you
it's
think is
very
the character?
rural.
You think it's rural?
Where they're proposing to build this, it's very rural. It feels like you're off Tenny Mountain.
Okay. So can you state that as a fact that we could find?
The character of the area is rural with residential abutting some commercial properties.
Okay, that's a fair statement.
There is actually a church up the road, isn't there?
Yep,
A school.
church and a
It's
school.
a school now.
Yeah, it's always been a private school with religious.
So that's technically not
religious.
residential then, right? So, I mean, there
Yeah.
is some sort of a business farther up the street.
It feels though like if you compare it to like Fairgrounds Road, right? Fairgrounds Road is agricultural, much more developed. It feels less developed, I feel like, than Fairgrounds Road, right? Which Fairgrounds Road is very agricultural, has a lot of churches on it, has homes, but it's much more densely populated. This, I think, is less densely populated.
I think we should make a finding relative to the lighting under this number 3. It's going to have security lighting, and it's going to have regular lighting. And the lights are focused down towards the ground.
Dark sky
There were
compliant.
dark sky compliant security lights, and the other lights were off
At 10 PM.
10
10
PM.
o'clock, right. And the security lights remain on.
They do.
Those 9 security lights.
Which are dark sky compliant.
Anything else that would go under number 3?
That there would be a lot of landscaping proposed. I did find part of their application that, you know, they weren't just proposing to put up, you know, a chain link fence, that they really have put a lot of thought into their application, and the trees and the shrubs, I think they would do a good job.
There is no fencing here.
Right, there's no fencing. No fencing proposed, which I think actually
It's more like the
is
character.
more like the character of the neighborhood.
All right. Want to read back what we've got for number 3?
Sure. So far, for number 3, we have the character of the area is rural with residential abutting some commercial properties. The property will have security lighting and regular lighting, which will be dark skies compliant. The lights besides the 9 security lights will be off by 10 p.m. Significant landscaping is proposed with no fencing proposed on the site.
Any additions or deletions?
Do you guys want to mention anything about the height of the property? There was some concerns about the height, right? That it was
They're
up,
gonna raise the land
raised, that it's going to be quite a bit up.
5 feet, I think, is the number
Yeah.
that's used.
And that's substantial.
Raise the property 5 feet. And the only data we got was that the whole thing is like 25 feet from the road surface to the top of the building.
Crest.
Roughly.
We could mention it's 35 feet from the pavement to the
That
guardrail.
was 25.
It was 10
35 approximately.
35, because it's 10, the state's got 10, and then 25 is their setback.
Okay.
Yeah, it is set back,
It was 35 feet?
35 feet, yeah.
35, not 25.
From the road edge to the guardrail.
Yeah, road, yeah, pavement edge to the guardrail.
And actually, that brings up a secondary, another thing. There is a, I believe it's just a sewer line, easement, but it could be water and sewer. Do
I
you
think
know?
it's just sewer, there's no water.
Just sewer,
They're gonna have their own well.
easement, that runs along the road as well.
Limits what they can do to some extent.
Correct.
I was talking about height when I was talking about the 25. Was that what
Yes, no, you are right as far as the height, but the distance from the,
Yeah, we've got 2 different dimensions. One was the setback and the other was the height.
And I think their plan included the color of the buildings and so forth was going to be neutral.
neutral-esque,
Hmm?
neutral-ish with some blue, slate bluish.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Neutral-ish.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Okay, want to read what we've got for number 3?
Sure, so I can start from the beginning again. Character of the area is rural with residential. The property is abutting some commercial properties. There will be security lighting and regular lighting, which will be dark skies compliant. The lights aside from the 9 security lights will be off at 10 p.m. Significant landscaping is proposed with no fencing proposed on the site. The property will be raised 5 feet. The total height of the structure will be 25 feet from the road surface to the top of the building. There will be a distance of 35 feet from the pavement on Yetton Road to the guardrail of the site. There's a sewer line easement along the edge of Yetton Road. The plan indicates neutral-ish building colors.
Neutral-ish. In the official notes.
We can say neutral.
Fish is okay.
Okay.
Any additions or deletions to those facts?
Should make a comment on that they do have DES approval for wetlands. I mean, it's part of the,
In the DOT, right?
I thought the DOT would
is
come up
not
with the next one.
Wetlands.
I mean,
It's
the
the
Army
DOT
Corps of
curb
Engineers.
cut.
Army Corps and they have
Another one.
wetlands permits to handle the wetlands.
Yeah, I think they do have a lot of permits, but there were still some in that I think that they need to get, right?
Well, I think, okay.
I think it's got them all.
Finding-
The environmental stuff was wrapped.
All right. A finding
there
else
was-
that we should have made, I'm sorry,
It's okay.
should be that it's a state highway. I didn't realize that.
It's a state road.
The old
Yeah.
Route 25, I guess. add that?
I have additional facts now. The property owner does have DES approval for the wetlands permit and Army Corps of Engineers permits for environmental impact. And then Yetton Road is a state highway.
Is it a state highway or a state road? It's a highway?
Technically, it's an unnumbered state highway. So
State highway.
State road, unnumbered highway, probably interchangeable.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the findings of fact for number 3.
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the facts as read. All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Number 4. Explain how there'll be no nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians.
So I think we have the issue of the property across the street. I mean, that will be a nuisance to them.
Okay, how would you word that?
Word it that, simply that, you know, this, property and additional lights coming toward their property is gonna be an additional nuisance to them that they didn't have before.
All right,
I'd like to add the finding of fact that Yetton Road has approximately 395 average annual daily trips, according to the New Hampshire DOT Transportation Data Management System. And that it's estimated that there would be 189 additional trips per weekday for the contractor storage unit that would generate, that we have in our notes. And that's almost a 50% increase, right? I'm rounding there, 400, roughly 200. So it's a little less, probably like 45% increase in traffic on that section of road.
I think Fred, you were working on the hazard of people walking on the road.
Yes, I mean, I think it's potentially, well, it's hazardous as it is right now.
That's it.
Currently, it's not great. So what they're going to do would not make that worse, and potentially could make it better,
By putting the walk,
like what they propose to do.
they're gonna construct a walking path.
I think it is possible that for the residences on this street, especially the house right across from the driveway,
You know,
that the increased traffic there is going to be substantial and a nuisance.
There is no on-site management. And is it fair to say there's no control over hours of coming and going?
Yeah.
Normal business hours, but there's no limitation.
Correct. And no enforcement of that.
Pardon?
No enforcement. Yeah.
And the statement was it's up to the owner. And, yep. We didn't get any information about what could be stored in these buildings, which could be dangerous, but I assume they have a fire department approval.
That's my recollection.
There is no comment, right, from fire department?
Yeah, I do not recall. Let me double check the report, but I don't recall the fire department expressing any concerns.
comments from fire department, highway department, or police department.
Yeah.
Water and sewer had the most stuff.
Read back the facts that we've got for number 4.
For number 4, thus far we have the additional lights shining onto the abutting property will be a nuisance. Yetton Road has 395 average annual daily trips per DOT. Is an estimate of 189 additional trips per weekday, which is nearly a 50% increase in traffic. Did I get those numbers for your comment?
An additional 189 trips per weekday.
Thank you. A hazard to vehicles, an existing hazard to vehicles or pedestrians could be mitigated by constructing a walking path area along Yetton Road. For residences on Yetton Road, the increase in traffic will be a nuisance. There is no on-site management to limit or enforce hours of operation. This is up to the owner.
I'd add one more, if I could, is that the site design right now puts the what do they call them? The garage door sides, right at the buildings facing each other, to kind of trap the noise of the building inside, right? So I think that that's a real plus of their design, is to kind of trap some of that noise in between.
As far as the impact to the neighbors, though, and it's just red tape, but that shouldn't be on number 4, that should be on number 6, should it not?
The noise?
Because number 4 is specifically around vehicles or pedestrians.
Oh, I see, nuisance or serious hazards to vehicles or pedestrians. I thought noise was a nuisance. Nuisance, noise, serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians. So you think nuisance
Can go-
applies to
Can go
vehicles
in both places, by the way.
or pedestrians?
All right.
We're gonna have like a comma interpretation of that
My
criteria.
interpretation is this is really
It's all
around
right, you're right.
safety of pedestrians and
Yeah.
vehicles, traffic.
I take nuisance separate and serious
Read
hazards.
back what we've got for number
Sure.
4.
So the additional lights shining onto the abutting property will be a nuisance. Yetton Road has 395 average annual daily trips per NHDOT estimate. There's an estimate of 189 additional trips per weekday, which is nearly a 50% increase in traffic. An existing hazard to vehicles or pedestrians could be mitigated by constructing a walking path area along Yetton Road. For the residences on Yetton Road, the increase in traffic will be a nuisance. There is no on-site management to limit or enforce hours of operation. This is up to the owner. And the site design puts garage doors facing each other to trap noise generated from the buildings.
I also, finding a fact that current status of the road is that there are no walkways or breakdown lanes.
No sidewalks either.
No sidewalks and no breakdown lanes. It is edge-to-edge road.
Right.
So the size of the trucks coming in, would you say that one under number 4 or number 6?
What?
The tractor trailer issue, is that under number 4 or number 6? Like the size?
Coming in and entering oncoming traffic, that would be under number 4.
4.
Yeah.
So it is potential that they might have tractor trailers, although that's not the stereotypical, the typical vehicles can be a box truck.
It'd be for deliveries. Yeah.
Yeah, like a big delivery, occasionally.
we should also add the date, if, I can't remember, they do have DOT approval for, you know, for the criteria that they need as far as turning radiuses and so forth for trucks and even tractor trailers.
They've met all of that, right.
Good catch.
Hey, Joseph, want to read what we've got for number 4, which is now expanded?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
The additional lights shining onto the abutting properties will be a nuisance. Yetton Road has 395 average annual daily trips per DOT. There's an estimate of 189 additional trips per weekday, which is nearly 50% increase in traffic. An existing hazard to vehicles or pedestrians could be mitigated by constructing a walking path area along Yetton Road. For residences on Yetton Road, the increase in traffic will be a nuisance. There is no on-site management to limit or enforce hours of operation. This is up to the owner. The site design puts garage doors facing each other to trap noise generated from the buildings. The current status of the road includes no sidewalks or breakdown lanes. There is potential for tractor trailers, though the typical vehicle is expected to be a box truck. The applicant has DOT approval for the curb cut and met applicable requirements.
Thank you.
Can you notate, piggyback on the one that's about the walkway? Just that the applicant is open to the possibility of, not the current status, but the one that Fred brought up, that it will be improved by a walkway.
If we approve this, we can approve it with a condition
That they
that they put it in.
put it in.
So, an existing hazard to vehicles or pedestrians could be mitigated by constructing a walking path area along Yetton Road, and the applicant is open to the creation of such a walkway.
I move that we accept these finding of facts as listed.
Second. Sorry.
Moved and seconded that we accept the findings of fact as Joseph just read them. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Number 5,
This one's easy.
explain how the use will not place excessive burden on town services and facilities.
They have their own well,
Yeah. And they're on town sewer.
and it would connect to the town sewer. Anything else?
And it's a state highway.
And it's a state highway.
Right, we have, property has an on-site well and will connect to town sewer, and then Yetton Road is a state highway.
I'll make a motion to accept those findings of fact.
Second. Sorry.
Get in there sometime with a second.
Not that excited about it.
All in favor of the findings of fact as read by,
Aye.
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 thank you,
Aye.
unanimous. Number 6. Explain how there be no significant effect resulting from such use upon the health, safety, and general welfare of the neighborhood in which the use would be located. Leek, you wanted to put one in here?
That there is potential of lights shining into the crossroad abutters property, property and house. And to follow that up, that the proposer has agreed to mitigate that through landscaping.
Would you break down the two different kinds of lighting? One's from headlights.
Oh, correct, yeah. Headlight is really the one that I'm
Most
see
concerned
as
about.
the biggest
Yeah.
hurdle in all this.
Yeah, I think there's something else you gotta think of. If, looking at the parking spaces, you park in the parking spaces, the headlights could in fact be broadcast across the street.
I think they're most, I mean, that's possible. But I think that there's gonna be,
Well, they're 5 feet higher though, remember?
they are higher, but there's gonna be shrubbery. And I would imagine that the contractors are gonna go in the middle most of the time.
Actually, if you look at the parking goes into the
To the
building.
building, yeah.
But I think the headlights coming out of the driveway are going to be the biggest hurdle.
Most of the time at night, right, I think contractors are gonna be going, and they're gonna use the middle, right? It would be like,
Where are their parking lots?
there's parking spaces there, yes, but that's like for people who are gonna show up during the day. Which I don't think that, I think when people are showing up at night, they're gonna go quick access to their,
Through the center, through
Yeah.
the overhead doors.
that would be my guess.
I think you could also add to yours that the majority of the, vast majority of the traffic coming out is gonna turn to the left.
They are.
I'm not actually
I
sure
can't
about
see
that.
anyone going right.
I
I
can,
mean,
I can't see anyone going right.
I can.
oh, they can.
It leads out to
If you wanted
Rumney.
to go to Bristol, you would go.
It leads out to Fairgrounds Road.
I know, but
No,
isn't,
no,
isn't
no, 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 you're, that's out on Tenny
your
Mountain,
road that-
right? When they come out of that driveway,
Try to
they're
get
on
out.
Yeton
Morse
Road.
Road?
Right goes down,
Yeton Road.
Yeton Road,
Yeah, yeah.
goes, comes down to
That
3A.
Yetton's property.
You take a right to go down to Bristol or Hebron, yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So I'm not saying,
I think there will be, especially
Some
if it's
people-
contractors, there will be,
yeah,
not 50% by any means, but I do believe
go
there
both
will
ways.
be
Some
a
people might go
significant
the other
portion.
way.
Okay.
Okay.
We're losing control here.
All right. So it's possible, you've convinced me, they could go either direction.
Okay, thank you. So have you, do you have his finding of fact about the traffic and the light?
So there's a potential for lights from headlights shining onto the property, abutting this property across the street, from the driveway exiting traffic. The applicant offered to mitigate this through landscaping.
significant negative effect.
I'd like to talk about the general welfare.
Yeah,
I need better information about the impact on the neighbor's house value.
yeah,
I can't simply accept, no, it won't have an effect on the neighbor. So I'm going to suggest under this one, I want to see an appraisal that takes into account what's proposed to have happen as it will relate to the surrounding properties. People are trained in how to do that. Both, and at this point, I would also ask that the letters be accepted that we've had submitted, many of which raise the issue of value of their property. And I just can't accept a general statement about, no, there will be no change in the value of the properties. I need evidence, personally, I need evidence that that's so. Now, you can talk me out of that position, go right ahead.
it's certainly a concern of a lot of the abutters.
Yeah, it is. So that would result in me making a motion that we continue this application for the submission of an appraisal which takes into account the effect on the value of surrounding properties if this development goes forward as proposed.
So you're making a motion to continue this application, or you're just,
Am I supposed to as the chair? I'll make a motion as the chair.
I'll second it.
Second. Thank you.
Walter. That was beautifully done, Walter.
That would be a continuation to the first Tuesday in September, which is the 1st, at the regularly scheduled zoning board meeting at 7 PM.
Okay. How do you feel about that motion, folks?
I understand where you're coming from, and I'm not opposed to it by any means. Do I think there would be an impact? I'm not sure.
I think it's one criteria.
Well, welfare is important.
It is.
Both the letters and the people who attended feel it's going to harm them.
It gets down to, what's a significant negative effect? And that's a significant negative effect. And it's probably fair to say, can we say that there's data that it will not be a significant negative effect?
Let me point out to you, Fred, is their responsibility to prove these criteria,
Yeah.
not us. So, and I believe I have adequate information to say that that criteria has been met. And there's only one way to get it, and that's if somebody does a study on that issue.
Right.
And there are people that do that kind of thing. But I'm willing to be voted down.
I mean, I guess just to be clear to the applicant, I mean, what does that look like? I mean, and who does that, and how can they get that done to satisfy this request?
There are licensed real estate appraisers who do that kind of work. A comparative study between what is now and what would be then.
Okay.
And they would look at other developments, as has been suggested. It's been moved and seconded to table this motion for a month under the condition that the applicant supply us with a real estate appraisal that would demonstrate the positive or negative impact on the neighboring properties if this development were to go forward. Summarize it.
Yeah.
All in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Only you and I are a negative.
I'm gonna abstain.
Honey,
I'm gonna abstain on that one.
you don't have a say, okay. 4 to
Yeah, I
1.
don't have a say.
4 to 1 in favor. Thank you. So we'll take this up again next month.
Thank you for coming tonight. We have one more application before us still, right?
We have one to do. Thank you.
Can I just ask a question? Would we be also able to submit an appraisal?
Absolutely. That's the purpose of our meeting.
Sounds good, thank you.
All right, so the next,
Amy? You have a question? Oh. I didn't hear what she
she
said.
asked if they could challenge things that they said to be true at the next hearing.
It's a continuation of this hearing. All right. In the matter of Nang Yu and Tom Crosley, application.
Thank you so much for waiting.
Oh, no problem.
I'm sorry. I know, I'm sorry, that was very
Long
long.
night? Oh, no, not even midnight yet.
I hope I have your stamina in my years ahead.
This is an application for a special exception. You want to explain to us what you want to do?
Okay, so first, don't hate us. My husband and I decide to retire in New Hampshire. We picked the Plymouth. So it initially was very exciting, and we went through a long journey. Part of the journey, you're already with us. I think last year, we bought the Hoy Hill property, trying to build our retirement home. And we got the zoning approval. Because the utility limitation, we also bought the adjacent home, which is 33 Winterberry Lane, in order to get the utility to Hoy Hill shorter. So the idea was to sell, since then, to sell the 33 Winterberry to build at Hoy Hill. The market changed, so as we all know, building becomes so expensive. We had to raise the price to sell the property on 33 Winterberry, and also the market changed, there's no buyer. So my husband and I come to realization that there won't be possibility to build on Hoy Hill. We decide to make 33 Winterberry our retirement home instead. And we resolve have to work a little longer in order to retire. So the maintenance and the tax, we also didn't realize. The tax, the maintenance, repair, everything together to the point that we sunk all our retirement savings to the whole adventure. So now, since we have to work a little longer, I was hoping to periodically rent out the 33 Winterberry to help with the repair and maintenance and the tax and the road, because the road maintenance alone, it was over 5,000 just plow this past winter.
Wow. Yeah.
I went up there.
So that's my whole story. I'm very new to this. I emailed the board saying, if I have this idea, I really have the need to rent a little bit to offset the expense. I want to come to this board to ask permission first before I even pencil out the details. Because if you guys decline, there's no point for me to design the whole thing. But I have initial idea put on the paper, and I'm here to answer any questions.
You're going to have one lot or two? Can you explain that?
Oh, this is a rental just to rent out the 33 Winterberry home.
And will you be staying in the home when you're renting it out?
I can. The home's quite big. It has 4 bedrooms. I don't even know if I can rent it out, but I will not do daily rental because a lot of work to rent out. So I'm planning to minimum 3 days stay or 1 week at a time. I can be on the property. There's enough space for me to stay there. I also have an RV. I can park on the Hoy Hill if I need to.
So you don't currently live in the property right now, is that correct?
I do. I do.
do?
We
You
do
live at
about
Winterberry Lane?
yes, three day a week we are there working. Honestly, from Thursday night to Monday night, we work there.
Joseph, you gave us some material on the Mountain Overlay District. Want to explain that to us, please?
Sure. So that's additional context here about the property is in the Tenny Mountain Overlay District.
Is this property in that district?
It is in the district, and it is also in the agricultural zone. So in the agricultural zone, this tourist home use is permitted by special exception. There are also some other uses that are somewhat similar in the Tenny Mountain Overlay District, And it is ultimately the property owner's option which district to use. Avery and I have spoken a bit with the property owner, and it sounded like tourist home was the use that they were hoping to pursue, which is permitted by special exception in the agricultural zone. So the overlying Tenny Mountain Overlay District does have some additional uses, though, that might be seen as similar, and that was the purpose of calling out that bed and breakfast use, which is slightly different than a tourist home.
I see.
This looks a little bit more residential, though, when you look at the map that we're given, right? This little neighborhood on Winterberry Road, there's several lots, there's like, it looks like 3 are developed.
There's only one home there.
One home on your lot?
No, there's only one home, was the resident there
I think
in the
we-
neighborhood.
Yeah.
What's this then on,
This is,
I don't know what that
this
is.
is what they're talking about there.
oh, okay, there's only one, and this one is out on Mayhew
That's-
Turnpike,
yeah,
okay,
and
okay.
now the house is right here.
I
I
see, I
drove
see.
up there just to check this out, and they do have an amazing driveway, which I would not want to own.
It looks like, it does look like a bear.
Oh, thank you. I wish I knew that 2 years ago.
So the issue is that, by tourist home, it's owner occupied, so that if you're doing it, you need to be there.
Okay.
And
Is that actually the case, though? Didn't we have something last week? where
Last meeting,
The
the
guy
guy
lives
moved
there,
out when
but
the
then
people
moves out.
moved in.
right,
We live in the.
So she does not need to be there when she's renting it out. We've had a.
Yeah,
precedent.
they did allow that last time.
yeah, because he was just,
It's pretty poorly defined.
yeah,
is
it's
poorly
poorly
defined.
defined, and as,
So the owner occupied, whole thing doesn't really apply, right? I mean,
I think it,
you're never there, ever, right? That's the only,
so you
live
live
in-
there 4 days a week, 4 days out of 7, correct?
Three days out of 7.
3 out of 7, you're there.
Yeah.
Last time.
And keep in mind that I owns about all the surrounding 130 acre, and I have RV. So I can't be there in any format and way.
I see,
It's the
All
same
the
as what we
driveway
did.
from the little roundabout,
yeah,
all that, yeah. No wonder it's expensive.
yep.
I know, the whole adventure is about go to an end if I try not to do anything. I can't sell, I can't build, and the maintenance just goes up.
Okay.
So your plan would be to really rent your house?
Yeah.
And for 3 days minimum?
Yeah.
And which lot are they building on?
She's not building it.
Right there.
And primarily, the rental will happen in summer and the fall. I will not rent in the winter because the maintenance on the driveway and everything else. So it will be primarily summer and the fall. For the foliage time, I think I can rent it out.
What was the parcel that she bought then? You mentioned that you bought maybe I misheard, but was it a second property?
So the Winterberry is adjacent to Hoy Hill. I bought the Hoy Hill. That's 100 acre Hoy Hill parcel. We applied to the town, we have the zoning approved for a house and possibly 2 buildings. But in order to make that happen, we have to sell the Winterberry to get the funding to do that.
That's what I
And
thought.
between the Winterberry cannot sell and the Hoy Hill building costs are skyrocketing, the whole idea kind of tanked.
And the
So
Hoy,
now,
and Hoy Hill, does that abut your current property?
yes,
Okay,
they all connected.
Should be a rectangular parcel just south of this one, a large rectangle. It's
It's
cut
the one
off
that
a
has a
little bit on the
one?
map.
It's cut off and
A little, yes.
it has the one in it.
Let me double
Okay.
check that.
So it abuts, but I like it kisses
Yes.
corners, but not really majorly abutting.
I don't,
The single house that's been developed is, abuts your land as well? Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And then the lot that your road is on, do you own that as well?
Yes.
Okay, so she does really abut.
Wildberry Road.
Yeah.
It will not impact any neighbor. We are 100 feet above, and the driveway is, I think, 1,200 feet.
I mean,
Now, these other lots, you know, in the map that we have with this, did she provide this map, Joseph, or did you?
This was just a snip from the tax maps.
From the tax maps, okay. So the tax map shows Winterberry Road going up and several lots up there, many undeveloped. Are those owned by other people?
Yes, I think I provide the 5 address to send out the
Okay.
notification.
Okay.
Okay, good. Has any communication come back?
None I'm aware of.
Okay.
And we do still have some people in the audience, so those might be neighbors.
Okay. You have neither town water or sewer there, is that correct?
Correct, it's well and septic.
I really don't think we need to overthink this. I mean, this is very similar to the gentleman who moved out, you know, and, you know. I mean, she's there 3 days a week. Even if she wasn't, it doesn't make it, you know, I mean, she's asking to rent a property out that's in the middle
This
of
is not
nowhere.
someone living in New York City and renting out a house that never.
Right, exactly.
shows
She's
up.
not an absentee owner that's, you know,
Right.
which is what we would probably not be wanting.
That's what we're trying- that
right,
was-
you know.
yeah.
That would be more full-time housing we would want, you know, from
Yeah,
that type of.
it's the same deal.
Let's go through our findings of fact if we can.
You want
Do you
to
wanna open to the,
open to the public first?
Sure. Are you guys gonna speak about anything?
Come on up.
Thanks for sitting through all of this.
That's okay. So my name is Michael Waddle, and we're in a butter. We're the lot below. We are the house that sits on Winterberry.
Oh, that's your.
Yeah. Hi, Meng. I think you're on there somewhere.
Hi, hi.
There is one other part-time resident who across from us on the other side of Winterberry that has put a trailer in there is here periodically. So really our only issue is it's a long road, right? So there's up to Winterberry, the circle, and then Tom and Meg have a really long to maintain up above that. I do most of from a little bit below the circle down. Mostly I plow through the winter and mow along the summer. Our only real concern is the potential increased traffic. And it's private road, and some folks do, for some reason, everybody wants to drive up Winterberry Road, go in circles and run around and drive a little
course they
faster
do.
than we would like. That's really only the big concern I have, is that potential increase in traffic.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
but I suppose we could maybe see a little, the house is quite a bit higher than ours, so it's not like you can see, once in a while you can see some lights from up there, but really it would be traffic as a concern.
The town put speed bumps in?
Well, it's not a town road.
It's not a town road.
I would love the town to take over the road. The folks who owned it before us
I think
tried to
she might
get
love that
the
too,
town to
right?
take over, but they wouldn't do it because it just goes up and loops around. Fortunately, the Plymouth police come up periodically and take a spin around, which is kind of nice. So
Yep.
anyway, thank you.
To ease your worry, I'm willing to allow the town to give me a cap of how many days they can rent out. You see, I'm new to this. I have no idea if I can rent it out at all. So if you tell me I'm only allowed to rent out 100 days to minimize your worry of traffic, I'm happy. Even if you say I'm only allowed to rent out 60 days, I'm okay too.
It's not ours to limit.
It isn't, not right now. The town, I think the planning board is working on trying to regulate short-term rentals,
Exactly.
but they just haven't done so yet. So I think some people have been coming to us,
When they come here, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
asking for a special exception, but until there's regulations in place, that's up to the town to create.
Go ahead with your first fact finding.
Okay.
You always do the same thing.
I'll make
They're
the,
doing donuts, so.
thank you for speaking, and I'll make a finding of fact that, that this use is allowed by special exception,
Called a rental tourist home.
or called a rental tourist, so, sure.
Number two, excuse me, explain how the specific site is appropriate location for the use.
It's pretty out there. Even the closest neighbor is not that close, right? It's not like what we see on Ski Lift Lane, right?
And it is adequate size.
Okay,
100+ acres.
And the owner is gonna be around, maybe not in the house, but near.
and I think you wanna, I'll accept her statement that she doesn't wanna rent it in the winter.
Right.
Because the road is so long. And the safety issue in
Is
this.
it steep?
It's steep.
Is it steep? You can't quite see the grading on the,
Okay. What have you got, Joseph, for number two?
All right, just 3 facts so far. The property is of adequate size with a total of 100+ acres. The owner will be around during the rental period, and the owner does not intend to rent the property during the winter.
I move we accept these facts.
second?
Moved and seconded to accept those facts as found. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right,
Okay. Number three, explain how the use as developed will not adversely affect the character of the area in which it's located.
It will not change the character at all.
No. There'll be no change in character, was what was offered.
I
Make a motion.
I make a motion for that finding of fact.
Second.
All in favor of that finding of fact, say aye.
all right.
It's unanimous. Number four, explain there'll be no nuisance or serious hazard of vehicles or pedestrians.
I mean, we did have one person speak up about increased possible traffic. It is a pretty remote spot.
She also said there'll be no one-day rentals,
Correct.
so it's not going to be used like a hotel.
She also mentioned that it would be, unit, it has 1 bedroom and would be occupied by only 1 to 2 adults.
It only has 1 bedroom? I thought you said it had 4. It is 4 bedrooms, right?
That was the previous one, I think.
John Crosley, no, that must be a typo then.
We have 4 bedrooms. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not allowed to talk, right?
Yeah, sorry.
You know,
Oh,
we've left the public hearing, you're correct.
Oh, that's in the notes, I see.
yeah, no, that's in relation to background notes.
Background,
Okay.
background
Sorry,
notes.
non-relevant. Strike that.
And this is in the agricultural zone? What zone is this again? Agricultural.
I offered that there'll be an increased traffic, but it won't be a large increase.
No, it will not. I don't think it would. And hopefully she's gonna be a good neighbor.
You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept those findings of fact for question
I second it.
item number 4.
Seconded to accept the findings that have been put forward. All in favor, say aye.
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 Number 5. Town services, I think the only thing we have to worry about is fire.
It is pretty far out there. She did mention in her application that she was gonna have fire extinguishers present, and she was going to have, carbon monoxide and working smoke alarm, smoke detectors. Right, I think she mentioned that.
Yep.
Okay. It's, well and septic should be in there.
And those are independent.
Want to read what you got, Joseph?
Sure. Just two so far. The applicant has stated the property will have a fire alarm, or a fire extinguisher, smoke alarm, and carbon monoxide detector. And then a private well and septic system provide water and wastewater service.
Does the fire department enter a letter in this kind of thing?
Let me check. I don't recall them having any comments. No comments were received on this.
I don't think the risk is any greater to the town than it already is.
Correct.
Correct.
Do we need to vote on that? Make
Yep,
a
we do.
motion to accept those findings of fact for number
Yeah, I
5?
move that we accept the findings of fact for question 5.
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept those findings of fact. All in favor, say aye.
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 And number 6. I lost my number 6.
Public health, safety, general welfare of
Safety
the
and
neighborhood.
welfare.
The applicant has listed out an extensive list of criteria that she's intending to comply with, including smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, fire extinguishers, emergency instructions, septic well, etc., trash rules, quiet hours.
Any findings of fact? Anybody?
Do you have any more findings you want to make? What have you got, Joseph?
Alright, so the applicant has listed criteria which will be complied with, including emergency instructions, fire extinguisher, and quiet hours.
All in favor of those findings of fact? Somebody's got to move it. Go ahead.
I move to accept those findings of fact.
Second.
Nice.
All in favor of those findings of fact, please say aye.
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 Joseph, if you'd frame that with the because word before each of those findings, as to why, as to the criteria number 1. Someone want to make a motion that we accept and approve criteria number 1?
I move that criteria number 1 is in the affirmative.
Second.
Second, moved and second to accept criteria number 1 because of the facts that have been enumerated. All in favor, say aye.
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 Walter, here's your chance for number 2.
I make a motion to accept number 2.
Okay, good.
Facts presented in number 2.
Second.
All right. It's been moved to approve the facts as stated for number 2. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 2 is accepted unanimously because of the facts enumerated.
I move the information presented will not adversely affect the character of the area.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded to accept that criteria. All in
Aye.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous because of the facts enumerated.
You know, move number 4, that there will be no nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians.
Second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept criteria number 4. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 4 is approved because of the facts enumerated.
I move to approve the facts in 5 and 6. Is that not possible?
That's possible.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the application for items 5 and 6, say aye.
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 Number 5 and 6 are approved because of the facts enumerated.
So I'll make a motion to approve the application for Nenyu and Tom Crossley at 33 Winterberry Lane, providing a special exception for a tourist home.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor of the motion as made.
Aye.
Right?
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Have fun.
I wish yours was first, right?
Thank you.
You can have the rest of your night back now.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Back to painting or whatever you were doing.
All right, what else do we have on this agenda at this sleepy hour?
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You want to keep
Thank
the
you.
paperwork?
You're welcome. Good
for-
luck.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we should.
Let them keep the paperwork for the big development.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave it here, because
I took notes on mine. Do you want to be responsible?
If you want to hold on to it as well and have it available for you next time with your notes, by all means, feel free. If you have just a plain copy of it that you want us to hold for next time, that's fine too.
I'll hold mine.
Okay.
That way you don't have to lose them.
Sorry to make you have an extra meeting, but who knows what'll happen.
Exactly. I do have one piece of other business, if this is a good time
Sure.
for it. And it did come up, so certainly if anybody's watching here tonight on TV, I hope they listen as well, that at their meeting of August 6th, so this Thursday at 6:30, the planning board will be holding a discussion about short-term rentals and their related definitions and regulations. They recently did an online survey that I think was mentioned at a previous meeting to get some input, so they're
Great.
going to be starting that discussion this Thursday. And they did also mention, I have it written down here, their September work session, which is September 3rd at 6:30 for a joint meeting with the zoning board as an invitation if this board was interested in having a joint meeting at that time.
Is that a Thursday?
It is a Thursday at
okay.
6:30 PM.
And I was just like, that day is normally like Labor Day, but I think Labor Day's late this
Yeah,
year, right?
Yeah, we can send out a reminder email.
September 3rd is a Thursday,
It
Thursday.
is a Thursday. Yep.
That's right before Labor Day weekend, I think.
6:30?
6:30 PM. Yep.
I actually reached out to John Chris before this meeting to see what the results of the survey were looking like, and he basically said that it was kind of 50-50. Some people wanting regulations, some people not, but they're gonna, I was kind of curious like what the town was thinking, it's kind of like
Yeah.
for, our purposes.
Part of it is, I think, some people don't, I think that there's a proclivity for people to not want regulation. But what I think a lot of people don't understand is they haven't seen some of what we've seen, where people come to us with problems. Like, think of that one application we once had with the fence on Ski Lift Lane. And they had,
Do you want a quick summary?
yeah,
People don't like regulation until it's next door.
exactly. That's it. That's the quick summary. We can go to bed, people. Yeah. Yeah. But there was also a very
When they were
expensive
gonna build a
home.
hotel out there in
Ski Lift Lane,
towards
like,
the bridge,
those were like expensive
So many
homes, like
people came
$1
out of the
million homes,
woodwork
and
all
someone
over the
was
place.
renting one out, right? And they had to put up a big fence because there was like, it was being rented out in a residential neighborhood. And they were having parties and people coming and going all the time.
I cannot
Ski
attend
Lift Lane,
Thursday.
$1 million properties.
This week.
Okay.
I can come on the, I believe.
Like if
on
I
the
bought a
third.
$1 million home up there and they were renting out the next one for
I
Airbnb.
suspect this will just be the first meeting of planning board discussion on this issue. I
It's not the
would-
recommended joint one, right? this Thursday?
No, this Thursday is
Just
the
them talking
discussion
about
about short-term rentals, or their sort of initial, I can't speak for their agenda, but I suspect that it will be a multi-meeting conversation about
I'm
them.
sure.
You can tell them the frustration that we've had because of the lack of definition.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Third.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's not unanimous. 4-1.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm on my way home.
All right, thank you.